Kiting.
Guys, okay.
Where did he go?
I'm looking.
Yeah, Selena flash. Penta?
Yeah, Penta.
Give me the Penta. Give me the Penta.
You hit these.
Nice.
Nice.
Wow,
Penta
The tower only has one hit, but they don't even need it. There's the encore coming out there from Ayla, trying to actually root him up. Not going to be able to do so, but Dokla is going to fall. No way out for him. Energy are gone. 100 Thieves.
Nice.
Aria through, guys.
Hit. I wanna kick smaller.
Just kill Ari, kill Tall Picker.
Look at me.
Oh.
1.1k AP.
The second charge here. Oh my God! Tricking River, my man is nasty.
Can we fight?
Yeah, fight. We should.
Look connected.
Orianna no ulti.
Paris, no flash.
Renekton.
Holy crap, good.
And Sniper is there to finish him off. Sniper low in health. Pathmaker forward, gonna be able to flip back one. Meech is down. It's up to FBI though. Quinn is piling through. The resets are here. He's going forward. There's the flash. He gets 3. Quinn immediately into the stasis, but Palafox in trouble as well. Quinn is down. FBI takes him out. But it's River who gets the resets. Can River do anything on the other side? He's down as well. Energy have won the fight.
Maybe look Nautilus?
Look me.
I'm gonna look at Zarya.
Zarya in a flash.
Yeah, kill Talia. Nice, guys.
Give me Penta.
Nice.
Wait, Penta?
Red.
See you soon.
You guys carried me.
Nice goal.
I'm a professional liar myself.
Welcome back to the LCS. Welcome to Waiting. What did you say, Raz?
Nothing.
He said he's a liar. I
I'm a
heard that.
professional liar
Professional
myself.
liar.
Professional liar, Raz
Yeah.
Law.
You need me to manipulate someone.
Well, if you're upfront about it and you're already telling them that you're a
Yeah.
liar, you're not going to be able
Or
to
is that a
manipulate
lie?
them.
But if I'm truthful about being lying, then maybe I'm not.
Wow.
All right, Kobe,
Mind
welcome.
games res.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good, except that I think you put something weird in the coffee.
So
today.
I put nothing weird in the coffee. You found a nearly empty jar of coffee in the fridge and were like, yep, this is the one for me. And then you're like, hey, it tastes weird.
if I don't show up next weekend,
We'll
that
know why.
poisoned me. I'm still going to drink it, though.
We're off to a great start.
So Sven is joining the cast today.
Yes.
So we got
Let's
Sven,
go.
Captain Flowers, and Azale that'll be the cast later, which means Kobe's with us all day pending the coffee reaction. But what do you think of the series yesterday? That was quite the banger.
We've had back-to-back bangers. The series before that, series yesterday. Let's go full 5 games, Baron steals, team fights all the time, setting kill records. I'm having a blast.
Why do you think the series are so close?
Because everyone's already been talking about this whole split, how close the LCS has become, how competitive it's become. Really the floor raised on a lot of these teams, and it's providing some really exciting playoffs.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. I also think that Fudge mentioned how it's so much easier going into playoffs and you're focusing on one opponent, you're focusing on one patch, and of course it's a best of, so it's a lot more, I would say, easier for the players to kind of take on the games. There's not a lot of random factors or matchups that you're dealing with, so that's a definite factor for sure.
Yeah, I think it's, as you say, an extension of the parity that we've seen in the LCS so far, and I'm pretty happy that it extended towards playoffs. I'm pretty, 100 Thieves was such a big story. It would have been super tragic to me if in 3 days their 10-4 turned into being
Oh my goodness, I
eliminated in the
know.
bottom half. Either way, we were going to lose a team yesterday with Energy being the defending champs now out early, or 100 Thieves being the second place team out early. So either way, you could say, I'm really happy they made it through. I'm
Yeah.
obviously sad the other team missed it.
But it would have been such a sad story if all of this hard work that 100 Thieves had built up, all this goodwill,
Yeah.
the rookies doing so well, overperforming and getting first place, and multiple times throughout the split had all been kind of washed away by getting defeated and eliminated so early. So yeah, I was super glad to see them push through, especially because they do have so many young guys on the team too. You know, you get a lot of experience there up on the big stage in front of the big crowd. Emily, you were talking about when you were interviewing Quid. He was really nervous in the interview in front of the crowd, and to be able to get that public, speaking going as well.
Yeah, it was great to see Quid and River afterwards. They were in really good mood, especially those two, I think, are really the core of this team, right?
Yeah.
And so they both popped off in the series. But yeah, Quid turned, his hands were shaking. I think not only because of like being on stage for the interview, but just adrenaline after playing such an insane best of 5.
What about the rest of the playoffs so far? What has stood out to you, Emily?
Coach Cam. I love that Coach Cam's back. That's my favorite. Some of my favorite moments from the playoffs thus far, as we see some reactions from yesterday, have been coaches either absolutely disappointed
He's
what their team
self-censored.
is doing, or Spooks in particular. I know we've been talking about LEC Coach Cam for a while, but yeah, as we see 100 Thieves coaching staff popping up, I love seeing Coach Cam because that's also sometimes us too behind the scenes where we'll be sitting watching the game and we'll just be like, oh my God, just have like a really over the top reaction. Obviously, these coaches are so invested in kind of bringing their players, but then when it's out of your hands because you're not actually playing, you're just watching them. And I've loved the reactions we've seen thus far.
And so many of those coaches from yesterday also are former players.
Yep.
So, they really wish they could be hands-on, and you just see the natural reactions. They're so genuine.
Yeah, I
It
remember.
sucks.
Yes.
It sucks.
I was talking to Spooks after the game, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just drained."
For me, in terms of what stood out to me about the playoffs or like surprised me was the way Cloud9 just ignored the regular season.
Yeah.
And we're still really good. Like the difference between their regular season just mediocrity and then their dominance in the 3 games they played, they were never behind against 100 Thieves. And that plus 3,200 average goal difference at 14 across the 100 Thieves series is absurd. They won all of their games basically in the first 14 minutes, and with like how close the other series were that you mentioned, Kobe, Team Liquid, FlyQuest going to 5
Hey,
games.
he's looking like him to me.
Hey,
He's looking like him to me.
That guy on the left looks pretty good too.
That's what I'm saying. A lot more confident than the guy on the right.
I mean, I just think Cloud9 showing up is actually a little bit surprising because it's very rare that teams actually. It is. It's so rare that you have the bad regular season and are able to turn it on. Energy was unable to turn it on. So they did.
It's really funny to me because the whole story of is Cloud9 back has been like a meme this whole split because they have been back, but then they've been gone again.
They were good for a week. And then the rest of the split, they're like, are they back to that 1 week?
But this is the first time where I was like, whoa, they're actually back. Because it wasn't just JoJo that was back. The whole team was playing so much better. So definitely agree with you there. As for me, I already talked about loving the 5-game series. Both series that I cast went a full distance. Super exciting, of course, especially when you have so many kills. You know, we're setting combined kill records so far in playoffs. But I would say most exciting individual moments, these Baron steals. Give me some more. Give me some more Baron steals. That's a big reason why we're going full 5 games.
Yeah, the fact that Contracts is 1 Baron steal away from tying Xsmithy's record.
Gonna have to wait a long time to get that record, though.
Now they're out.
Gotta wait until summer.
Tragic. Actually, I love that you mentioned moments because when we were served this question, it was about moments throughout the playoffs. Because yes, a lot of these game 5s had some crazy, oh, could this be the end of the game? No, it goes to the next team fight. And for me, it was around General Umpty. Umpty, when he was on his Lee Sin, was a machine. And there was one team fight which really felt like it triggered the
this was so good.
Win for Team Liquid. Huge ulti onto Masu, served into a Rel ulti, served into a Ziggs ulti. That was a game-winning team fight, and it showcased how damn good Umpty is in critical moments like these.
Yeah, it was definitely. Umpty has played exactly the same way as he did in LCK, but that means that you do, for every kind of low light where he's, invading and maybe his lanes don't have pressure, you get insane moments like this, especially on Lee Sin, which is a pick that's rising in popularity, not only in this series, but then we saw it again yesterday become a huge point of contention between River and Contracts.
Yeah, and Team Liquid was really close to actually beating FlyQuest because that series was also just 2 days ago. So we have some highlights from that series. Team Liquid was 1 game away from skipping today and going all the way to Saturday in the winners bracket final, but narrowly losing this series.
Jensen.
He was good.
Pretty big monster, honestly, for this whole series.
He's on a warpath on Twitter as well. If you
he's undefeated. His KDA on Twitter is immaculate.
Yesterday he necroed a tweet from like January where Think Hard.
Yeah, and it was perfect.
He's done that before in the past too. Jensen remembers. He always remembers.
So the one that he did after this Team Liquid game was really funny because TL the week before put out a content piece about can a gold player survive an LCS game, and they had an actual gold player play with their LCS team. And then Jensen retweeted it with, I guess not.
I can't believe it.
After he smurfed on APA, I was like, holy, that was a massive clap. But I will say, big stuff for TL as well in that series. Jan was looking really good to me, so I think the bottom lane for this matchup is going to be super hype.
Just real quick, speaking of Twitter, APA is taking a vow of silence today. So he claims.
No!
I say no. There were people that this was actually triggering, though, so I am curious what chat's opinion of it is, if they're happy or sad about hearing the news that APA is claiming to take a vow of silence. I kind of feel like he's not.
So I understand a lot of the people that are pretty negative on this because they're just jumping on the bandwagon and they're like, oh man, I'm so triggered because I've been in games where this trash player is talking so much, right? So they're like, stop yapping.
Yeah.
But for me, I appreciate what APA is doing so much for the entertainment of the league.
Yes.
It takes a lot to be the villain, and he embraced being the villain. He willingly is going in there, trash talking all these popular players so they can get more content, so it can be more hype. And I definitely appreciate, the entertainment factor.
And I know when I've been in those games where the enemy team is talking trash and you're like, those are the most fun games for me. Those are the games that I'm really invested in.
Because then it feels better when you get to clap back.
Yes!
Exactly.
Yes! And for the entertainment of the league, that entire series that we had where we were just showing the alt chat was so fun. So I hope he isn't. I hope he's lying to us.
I feel bad for the backlash that he was getting, but
Instigator says that he wants drama, which is perfect for a name. So I appreciate you in the chat for saying that.
Yeah, wow, what a great chat name for what they said.
People are saying boo, exactly.
I think the other thing that was only weird to me, because I thought APA was really well known for this, but I guess not, because people were like, oh, he's just playing it up for LCS. No. He's been doing this since Tier 3. This has always been part of his personality, so it's very natural for him. This is not an act. It's something he's been doing since he started playing League of Legends.
And in person, he's a super nice guy. And I would also say, though, the mental game for League, he actually got in Jensen's head that second game. Yeah. It worked.
They said all 5 people bought.
Yeah, it literally worked. He got in Jensen's head, and then pretty sure that FlyQuest then just had Jensen have to mute all.
APA might go, don't do this to us.
Yeah, chat is nearly unanimously booing the fact that he said he's silencing himself. I hope it's just a fake out and he types anyway, because weirdly enough, every player doesn't mute him. Some of them are like, oh, I think it's funny, but even if you're reading it, it is distracting you from the game. Yeah. And for me, APA has done it so often and for so long. That's just his comfort zone when he's randomly trash talking. I don't think it negatively affects his play, and it has a chance of negatively affecting the opponent. So I think he should do it literally every game.
Also, you have power, chat, by the way. You know the reason why he tweeted out that he's going to take a vow of silence is because there's been so much backlash against him from doing it in the previous one. So if you all send supportive messages to APA and to his team as well, then the team will be like, oh, this is great branding. You should do it again, APA. You can actually change the course of APA's social media.
I like
history.
that.
Send him some encouragement.
Sick. I love it. We have a coach interview, though.
Okay.
We do.
15 minutes ago, we chatted with the coaches. Take a look.
Hello, I am joined by Spawn and Enetron before the Dignitas TL matchup. Thank you both for joining me. Spawn, I'll start with you because you guys obviously suffered a really tough 5-game loss. Coming out of that, what were your words to the team?
I mean, I thought we played pretty well on the day, to be honest. I think that FlyQuest is a super good team. So we just said, you know, look, there's a lot of things we did right in this series. I think in the big moments, they played better than us. So if we can capture those moments going forward, I'm sure that we can make a really deep playoff run.
And then for you, obviously, you guys had a lot of prep time to kind of prepare. You didn't necessarily know your opponent was going to be TL, but what was your prep week going into this playoff match?
I think first of all, we worked to perfect our weaknesses, kinda. It's really important to have an identity going into a BO5, so we started practicing more our identity as a squad. Once we knew that Team Liquid is going to be indeed our opponent, then we started gathering all the information that we had against them. And yeah, as you said, we had pretty good week of practice, so yeah, we're pretty confident.
What is the toughest thing that you have to about facing Team Liquid?
I don't know, last time we played them, we had a pretty good read on them, I feel like, in the Super Week. I think they played really good also versus FlyQuest, as Spawn here said. So in general, I think our teams, we have similar strengths. So I really want to see how this match is going to go on the stage.
And then for you, what's the toughest thing about facing Dignitas, and how do you feel like TL is going to face up?
I mean, I feel like Dignitas is a team with really solid fundamentals, to be honest. They play like a very predictable but methodical way, which if you don't tear them out of that methodology, like methodical play style, then it's actually really hard to get a grasp in the game. So I think we need to upset them somewhere in the game and then be able to, you know, take hold that way.
All right, any last words, any moments of trash talk? I don't know.
I mean, I don't have something to trash here because I think that we have a really big respect towards Team Liquid in general. They have been our screen pass for a really long time too, so we were really happy always playing against them. I hope the old chat will be quite quiet today so we can fully focus if this is what the upset you were mean about, but in general I think we're going to have a really good game overall. So
APA did tweet the zip emoji, so we have that. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, same thing, right? I mean, it's no secret. I think like Fly and Dig were actually the two teams we scrimmed the most, and obviously we get to play them in playoff. And I think that, you know, we have a really healthy respect for Dignitas as well. So we look forward to the game. Hopefully we can show up like we did against Fly, and it'll be a great series.
All right, well, thank you both for taking the time. All the best in today's series, and we'll see you on the Rift.
Here's the bracket for the upcoming rest of playoffs. You can see the winner of this will play 100 Thieves on Friday. That is a different schedule next weekend. It'll be Friday, Saturday. Coaches didn't give you much in that, Emily.
They have too much respect for each other.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway from that was the size of Spawn's arms.
He's flexing.
Yeah, he is getting jacked this split. He did tell me that when he's stressed out, he's going to the gym. He's had a very stressful
He's been stressed.
He's been very
Looks like he's been going to the gym a lot.
That's my takeaway.
I was going to point out the pin. It's very rare. Like, he's wearing that pin, and Emily was saying it is Jan's face on it.
Yeah, it's Jan from when he dyed his hair in 2022, I think.
I think Jan earned that from like being their most valuable player in their series that they lost. So, and maybe we'll see whichever player plays the best, like Spawn's gonna wear their pin or something.
Yeah.
Some sort of extra little bonus.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
There it is. He's smiling like we know we're giving him compliments, but he has no idea.
Yes.
He could not hear us at all.
Impact and Rich.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is. Impact had been the carry for this team. Rich, last year, I'd say for Dignitas was the carry, but it's kind of been off this year.
Yeah, Rich in particular, I think it's quite unfortunate to see. I think a lot of it comes from the change in direction of how the team is playing. Because last year was just resources thrown topside. They didn't really have much faith in the bot side of the map. This time around, the resources, I would say, has been going towards bot lane a little bit more. But we haven't been seeing the same Rich we've seen last year, at least within the lane.
He's played a lot of different stuff.
Yeah,
last year to this year.
I think we saw flashes of it with the top TF. Like,
Yeah.
I do think if TL decide to go like Udyr early or something like that, we could see a counter pick from Rich, especially if Dignitas are on red side. But I also do think it does speak to his flexibility where they have decided To Spawn's point, when he was commenting on Dignitas, they are a very methodical team. They want to play around bot lane. And even without a lot of resources, I think Rich generally has been having a pretty quiet but good split. Like, he's had a lot of really good Gnar plays specifically that set them up in a lot of team fights.
Yeah, I like the damage per gold stat for both these two top laners. They were #1 and #2 in the league. Obviously, that has a lot to do with champion choice, too, especially for top lane, but they've been doing a lot with the amount of gold that they got. Impact, I would say, though, oh my goodness, especially for the beginning of spring, he was the single most important person on the entire Team Liquid team, doing so much as far as objectives and setting up the rest of the team for success as well. That goes without saying, though. Like, this guy is the veteran of the LCS top lane.
That's why it's going to be
still performing.
It's going to be tough for Rich because absolutely, Impact has been a top 2 top laner in the league for this split. Like, at least to me, very clearly. And a lot of it has been due to the fact that, yes, he's been consistent, where a lot of the players on Team Liquid have not. And then on top of that, he's just been a great carry for the team. His Rumble game I actually liked. One of his Jax games was also a great one. Earlier on in the split, he was the King of Udyr, which is not a carry pick, but he did a lot for the team and how he played around the map. So he was and still is the backbone. It's just nice to see that specifically Jan and Core JJ are stepping up.
Oh man, the energy faces in the background, the wall. I feel so. That makes me sad.
No,
they got eliminated.
In memory.
Are
too happy.
I have no idea.
How did they sneak in there? That just hit me in the heart. Oh man.
They're gonna be back, Kobe. It's summer splits.
Oh, Kobe.
Months away.
Reminder.
The wall of memories behind them.
Going back to top lane, though, I think one other big thing about Impact, also to your point, Raz, in terms of how he uses his pressure, how he can take over the top side, is that it's a really easy lane for Umti to play around. And I think that's typically where, even though it was TL's bot lane that became the focus in the FlyQuest series, Umti has typically pathed around top, and we look at Umti versus XU. It's a really interesting matchup for me because I think Umti coming over here, how he's played on TL, the kind of aggressive counter jungling that we've seen from him has always been a hallmark of his style. Meanwhile, XU, I was impressed with him when he was in NACL. I did not expect him to play as well as he has, especially towards the beginning and the middle of the split, like right before the break. He's really, really looked good on this Dignitas team, and he's also really understood where he wants to apply pressure, which is bot lane.
And I think it is a blessing and a curse, the language barriers that Dignitas have on their team, because XU's even said in interviews, like, I still have a hard time communicating with my solo lane.
What's the blessing part?
Well, he's really good at playing around bot lane. It gives him a direction.
That is a blessing.
The blessing is, I can't communicate with the top side,
It simplifies it, right? Like, you only got a couple numbers in your phone. You're really responsive to that one friend. Because it's all you can ever text. He's the only one you can ever text. So you got really
like
close
a curse.
relationship.
Maybe a blessing.
It's a solid blessing.
They are probably the best bot lane jungle like trio that, I mean, maybe that we've had in the LCS, as silly as that sounds, with how much they were playing around it, and it becomes a win condition. Now, in a best of 5, maybe that's a curse because they do have somewhat of a one-dimensional play style, but it's been working for them to get them into playoffs in the first place.
Yeah, and I want to remind people that even in the last week of the regular season, XU wasn't happy with his own particular play. He felt like he didn't perform, and it was actually the rest of the team that stood up. So that's where the bot lane comes into play, where I do think Tomo and Isles has been the strongest bot lane Dignitas as an organization has had in a long time. And a team that, yes, they do get supported. So I think bot lane is going to be really important. To me, with the champion that comes to mind when I think about them is the Smolder pick.
Smolder?
Yeah, Tomo Smolder, and how confident he is and the team is around playing around him. So it's been a team fight focused team and playing front to back that's been the focus for Dignitas.
Yeah, I don't think, unlike yesterday, where we saw Smolder kind of fall through the draft towards the end, where both teams were just like, we'll ban Senna, the Smolder, we don't care about suddenly. These two teams, I think, are going to be a lot more bot lane focused.
Yeah.
They will lock in that Smolder. Tomo and Isles specifically, though, I remember them being super high up in Champions Queue at the beginning of the season, right? And we're like, okay, these two are grinding. They're destroying people in the 2v2 in Champs Queue and in Solo Queue. How well are they going to do on the LCS stage? And I think having a team that facilitates that, like we talked about, XU paths bot side a lot.
Yeah.
But the two of them have been doing surprisingly well in their 2v2 lanes. And so it's no wonder that Dignitas have decided to play around them.
Well, I'm glad both of you did a good job hyping up the Dignitas bottom lane because I'm all on the TL bot lane train. with how well, even in their losses for TL, Jan and Core JJ were getting 2v2 kills on bottom. Felt like they always had pressure. They're getting turret plates. In the team fights, they had a very, very high percentage of the damage that the team was able to put out. So I'm pretty hyped for it. And then we also had a lot of the Cloud9 members after their victory were talking about and praising this TL bottom lane. From scrims, of course, we know the scrim rumors are very good for TL and a decent amount for Dignitas too. So, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the bot lane matchup. And I think that TL, especially at the early stages, are going to be very aggressive, and we may see some more 2v2 kills.
I mean, it sounds like you think TL's going to win the series.
You want to get to predictions, chat?
I mean, yes, I do. I want to see them because I have a weird feeling about this series. I think normally you'd predict Team Liquid. Everyone's predicting Team Liquid, but
what?
Dig had
look, I want to put it out.
Really good early games. I just have this weird feeling about TL because every time during the regular season where I'd see Team Liquid have like a nice big win, they kind of fall on their face afterwards.
I want to put it out there to the production. I sent in my prediction as a 3-0 Team Liquid.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did. It wasn't 3-2.
Let me see.
Definitely a 3-2. Okay, give me.
I don't believe
give it out there. I am
You're
confident.
on your phone on chat all the time.
I am confident.
Bang!
Oh, we did.
And I put a crying emoji. That crying emoji was for Dignitas. I was crying.
Dignitas hates you now.
Yeah,
okay.
So Raz is going
Apology
even harder
accepted, producer man.
with his prediction. 3-0 TL.
Back to your weird feeling, though.
Yeah.
Did you say Team Liquid, when they have a big win, then they have a big flop afterwards?
Yeah. That's how I've
Because they lost to get here.
True, but they played a lot better than people expected them to.
So it's an expectation thing.
So now it's one of those things where they had two big wins.
So do you think it's going to be more of a TL crumble than?
So, okay, I think if Dig wins this series, a lot of it will have to do with early games.
Well, if they're putting in the coach, Spawn's sitting down now. I mean, that's definitely going to cause some problems.
Yeah.
Spawn is...
And he is not as good as Jan. So...
He's definitely not.
That's
why he's got the pin on!
True.
He told us what he was going to do the entire time.
But no, literally, I think it would be Dove actually outplays APA, so they just kind of passively win mid lane. This is how Dignitas wins. I'm not saying exactly how it's going to happen. And then XU and Tomo Wiles actually just have better coordination and win the bot lane, because if you stop Core JJ from roaming, APA is not necessarily a carry player. It's hard for Impact to carry a 5-game series by himself. That would be Dignitas' road to winning.
Yeah, honestly, too, I do think this one is a really close one.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that somebody does have the Dignitas side of it. Especially talking to a lot of the players, they're like, yeah, Dignitas is way better than they have been, the last couple of years with this lineup. So looks like it's going to be a competitive series.
We've had 2 straight 5-game series, hoping for a third. As you can see from the timer, we are minutes away from the first champ select as soon as Jan gets back to his chair. But let's send it up to the stage to get into the games.
Hey you, why aren't you watching the LCS right now? You should be.
No excuses.
You're tired? Doesn't matter.
No excuses.
Oh, I'm severely injured and the ambulance has to take me to the hospital.
No excuses.
Oh, it's my wedding today and my family will be pissed if I don't show up.
No excuses.
Oh, I need to get a job to pay my bills.
No excuses.
If the LCS is on, you're watching it. You hear me, you don't forget to breathe, and you shouldn't forget to watch the LCS.
No excuses!
Even if you're playing A-Rams with the squad and the LCS commissioner keeps throwing your games, but you have to end the night on a W.
No excuses!
Even if it's your special hour of the day that you have reserved to watch back NRG versus G2 at Worlds, you watch the LCS.
Actually, that one's understandable.
True. I haven't missed a day since that happened. But besides that, no excuses. Arriving at the studio now, a Team Liquid fighting for their lives after a long battle against FlyQuest barely didn't go their way. And their opponents on the other side, Dignitas, the underdog squad of playoffs, looking to show everyone they've got what it takes to make a run through the lower bracket. The final day of the first week of LCS playoffs starts right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last day of the first week of LCS playoffs here in spring 2024. I am Captain Flowers. I am joined by Azael and special guest Sven for this entire best of 5. It's Team Liquid, it's Dignitas, and it's the last day of spring for one of the two squads.
It's going to be a good one, man. Team Liquid, obviously, coming in off a very disappointing loss to FlyQuest. Incredibly close in that one, but we've had back-to-back 5-game series.
Oh, no.
Smolder's left up.
Oh, no.
And we already know if they don't take it, Tomo wants to, because Dignitas has talked so much about how, Tomo is the best Smolder in the league. That's their style. That's their champion. So you basically have to take it away.
Sometimes they also think it's just the easiest win con for Dignitas is to have Tomo on hyper carry. Like, Jinx isn't a meta champion, but they're banning it anyways, and they're taking away the Smolder, so they don't want to keep Tomo off of the hyper carries, the late game, 1v9 champions.
Yeah, this would be interesting because last time these two teams played was the Tomo Xayah pentakill game in that win. And so when they hover Rakan, I was like, I wonder if they just go Xayah Rakan. I wonder if they actually go for something like that. A lot of talk about Zeri as an answer into Smolder. Where do you kind of lie as some of your kind of favorite answers and responses?
Zeri is good if your support roams the whole game, then you can win 1v1 against him at level 6. But I think Senna being open just means it's going to be a slam dunk Nautilus, and then some jungler or mid laner like Talia is good flex pick, and then just Senna on 3. That's probably going to be what they're going for here. I like Senna against Smolder. I think it wins lane pretty much every level the whole game. Obviously, you get outscaled late game, but that's everything against Smolder. So I think Dignitas has been playing really well when they win late.
Okay. Remember, Team Liquid did get one of their other wins earlier this split, running the double dragon comp. You're talking about Smolder outscales everything. Aurelion Sol is one of the only things that scales to the same level that he does. And the Dragons for Team Liquid are ready to go for the late game.
Honestly, this is kind of how TL have won most of their games throughout the split. Not this exact comp, but just late game scaling. They go for 5v5, they go for late game. That's kind of how they win. When they experiment, when they move away from that, that's usually when they're taking L's.
Might have some new players, but TL is always the same. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Kai'Sa pick. I think Senna would have been better, but Dignitas have been playing well when their bot lane is enabled. That has been their go-to the whole split almost, and all their wins is their blind wins lane, and then they can do something with that.
I mean, you have to give a lot of credit, I think, to Tomo and Isles. The expectation, was not that these guys would be able to compete with some of the bot lanes at the top, but I think they really have surpassed expectations, and I think that they're showing they deserve to be in the LCS, that they can compete when we're talking about them as a win condition here for a playoff team. We'll see if they can get it done in game 1 against TL. I'm kind of curious on your take with the Kai'Sa builds, because we were joking around about it yesterday a little bit with Meteos, but it feels like people basically are building something different on this champion every single game.
Yeah, you go into the store, close your eyes, and just buy whatever looks nice. I think Static Shiv is a bait. That's my first take. Okay. I think if you want to go AD, it's Kraken Slayer, and then it's Terminus, or it's Navori. I think if you want to go AP, that's fine as well. It scales like Smolder does, but it's weaker on one item. The only thing about AP build is that you're already Talia Nautilus, right? So you need to have 2 big AD guys here on last pick for Dignitas. So they are kind of forced to pick full AD on the last picks here if they want to play the AP Kai'Sa. I think actually not bad. The Halo Blades, Manamune, poke build.
Yeah, we've seen Manamune, we've seen, yesterday we saw Shiv into Kraken, we saw Kraken burst, we saw Kraken into Rageblade, we saw Manamune into Ludens, we saw the triple upgrade build where people did like Shiv, Kraken, then Nashers, and then into like, not Void Staff, I can't think.
Crypt Bloom?
Crypt Bloom.
Crypto Bloom?
Yeah, Crypto Bloom. The one that has replaced the Void Staff. Entirely.
It seems like it's better than Void Staff.
It just is, and it's cheaper. No one buys Void Staff.
AoE heal, it's just too good.
Yeah, it is way too good compared to Void Staff. It just deleted that item from the game.
Better build path as well,
Yeah, way better. All right. We'll see if APA is going to be able to perform today. Obviously, a lot of eyes on him. Some people love the trash talk, some people hate it, but it is getting APA a lot of attention.
Yeah,
I think
it's good for the league.
I think it is good for the league, and I think it's fun to watch, it's fun to listen to. But that being said, when he trash talks and it doesn't go well, he's going to get a lot of flames. So he's got to be able to take it. And I know he tweeted out that he's going to take a vow of silence for this one. We'll see if he can stick to it.
We'll see about that.
Because I remember I cast his very first game in LCS. Day 1, game 1, LCS. He was trash talking in the lobby. Like, this guy just loves to type.
I mean, honestly, I have respect for it, you know? Like,
yeah.
You know, don't hold back, but you gotta back it up sometimes as well, or you're gonna take some heat from the fans and the players as well. And, you know, Jensen was talking some serious smack the other day after the game too.
He was, but I will say, I felt like he kind of got in FlyQuest's head, right?
Yeah,
and it's like, people can flame me all they want, but at the end of the day, if it's actually giving your team a better chance to win, hey.
Yeah. There were those like 5-man dive ball on APA where they got aced in return for killing him. And he was sitting there smiling on his face.
It's like global taunt.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that actually did go for the heavy AD here in the second phase, so it could be the AP Kai'Sa. I don't think it's going to be the AP Kai'Sa. I think it's going to be the tempo and just on hit, you know, Kraken Slayer, shift, something like that.
So we talked about Team Liquid scaling through their carries, their last couple picks of the draft in the Renekton and the Xin Zhao. The tools to get them there, right? The Renekton's going to give you an early lane that'll have some priority, some pressure. Xin's got some excellent ganking capabilities to make sure that he's ready to protect these dragons as they scale up.
Yeah, you got to bridge the gap somehow, you know, between scaling and early game. And Xin Zhao and Renekton are pretty useless in late game, but they're really good in the early game. So I think perhaps we'll see TL just playing safe on bot side and just trying to go for the corrupts early game and just late game they go for the dragons.
And while I won't say that Jace or Kai'Sa are shocking champions, it is the first time for both Rich and Tomo that they've actually played them this year. So that is a little bit surprising. So maybe trying to throw a little bit of a wrench in the gears of TL's prep, because both these guys have played a ton of champions. They have some of the deepest champion pools that we saw in the LCS. You know, you look at Tomo, when you look at Rich, like they played a lot of different stuff, but first time on both those champs.
Yeah, it's important to note that TL actually banned the Gnar and in the first phase, I think it was, and they also banned the TF and the Aatrox. So Rich is kind of like taking half a champ pool out here.
Udyr was also banned as well. He didn't necessarily want to go AP, so he couldn't play Rumble. But he has played like Poppy, Jax, Renekton. He's played a lot of stuff.
All right, so let's just immediately go into the game here. I want to see, do you guys think that Dignitas has the tools to shut down this Team Liquid scaling machine before it comes online? Because we're already talking about the squad that's starting in the lower bracket. This is the underdog team that people are going to be surprised if they make a run. Is this a recipe for success in game number 1 and trying to do that?
I definitely think Dignitas is the underdog of this playoffs. I think they're the team that the dark horse for sure. And this game, they actually have good mission lanes, from what I can tell. So they should be able to make something happen in the early game here. And Tomo does have Hail Blades, which is what you're going for the AP build. So could be something here.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Look at it. Just nice, happy, good luck, have fun.
Yep, just normal stuff.
Hope everyone has a good game of League of Legends.
Rich only with the good luck here.
Sportsmanship.
Yeah. Oh,
he doesn't hope to have fun.
DM, yeah.
He only wants them to have luck, no fun.
All right. Thought we might have gotten a little bit more spice from the invade, but unfortunately, not a whole lot there. Just Dignitas moving in, sitting down a little bit of vision, and they're right back out.
Well, it's going to be an exciting one. I do think when you're looking at a matchup like this, I really favor ease of execution, and I just feel like on the TL side, they don't actually have to do anything.
Yeah, the comp is definitely easier to play.
Yeah, like you're basically going in, you're talking about win conditions, you're talking about how you need to play the game. You just kind of stack and you farm. Like, eventually you're going to get to the point where Smolder Asol are so hard to deal with, whereas all the pressure feels like it's on Dignitas.
Yeah, we'll say if they can actually go for the poke comp with the AP Kai'Sa and the Jace, they actually have a really strong just standoff, play for the poke, and they can force TL into them. That might be an even easier playstyle than the scale for late game. So if they go for the poke comp, I can actually see them winning the standoffs and force TL into them. Nice Hail Blades trade there from Dignitas.
Dignitas with control over the lanes, just like we were kind of expecting there. The advantage in the range of top side for Jace versus Renekton. Talia versus an Aurelion Soul that has no stacks early on. So what does this mean for the ganks, however? XU has been a big engine for Dignitas getting things done in games where they look good. He's usually one of the reasons why that happens. So I'm going to have eyes on his Lee Sin in this early game to really get these guys rolling and make sure they don't allow TL to play this free stacking game you guys are talking about.
Yeah, I really doubt we're going to see much from the junglers besides the full clear here. It is pro play after all, his first game of the series as well, so tends to be just, a full clear and a crab and then a base probably. But I think XU, once he hits level 6 or once the grub spawner, I won't see him get active. He has 3 pushing lanes this game, so he should be able to do whatever he wants basically the entire early game.
This is actually really interesting as well. This is something we saw River doing yesterday, where on a lot of his jungle clears, he was actually doing 3 camps base for longsword, then go back out instead of the full 6 camp clear. So it seems to be a little bit more of the meta. I was talking to some people about what they thought the advantage for that was, and it was mostly that if you think that you're going to be able to fight immediately, you go for the immediate base, then you get back out on the map. Now you have this additional combat power, and they're going to use the Nautilus basically as that ward hop and try to meet him at his red. So MT could be in trouble, but is going to get the news they're already on it.
Teal should know about this since Isle isn't in his lane and Tomo's there alone.
He's just going to give it.
Not bad, honestly. It's just 1 camp, but it's not nothing, right? It's a small advantage.
Yeah, it's a red buff.
It kind of removes himself from the early game. He can't gank anyone with this kind of,
He's actually going to cross, so he's going to try to double scuttle because they have pushing bot and he has pushing mid. So you go top side, you take that scuttle, and then he could cross back, do his bot camps and bot scuttle potentially. But this does mean it's a little bit more inefficient as far as your pathing because you're crossing the map so much times, and then you're going back to base, and you're doing all these things. So he could build an eventual gold lead, but
Umti is right now what we call jobless.
Yeah.
He has no camps, he has nowhere to go, he's just running around hoping for someone to gank, and Dignitas should know that he's jobless and will force some sort of gank or perhaps a fight on the bot side here for the Dignitas camps.
Yeah,
X2 actually didn't cross map, which is kind of weird. I feel like not worth crossing to the top crab just to do your chickens again. It is level 2 camp instead of level 1 camp, so not bad for him, but he doesn't have vision of Umti here, so Umti could have been taking his camps for all he knows.
Yeah.
She does now. A little risky at this point, I think. Yeah. He realizes that as well.
Yeah, but now he really doesn't have much of anything to do.
Now he's jobless.
He can walk topside and try to get his Gromp, but it's like he is in a pretty awkward spot as well. So at the end of the day, XU is going to come out ahead from this pathing. And I do like that they coordinated that invade with Isles. They get the push bot, they move up Isles, use him for that ward hop. To be able to get over the wall. It's some smart early planning. And I think these are things that you should always come into a playoff series with some of these ideas about how you want to play level 1s. Try to, come up with some little things that could be surprising and maybe get you an edge.
Yeah, it ain't much, but it's something.
Exactly, right? Yeah. And it could have been more, right? Had UMT been at the red buff as they're going around, maybe they get a kill. So I think it's one of these things where it's like, it's really low risk, and there's potential for maybe a medium reward. So
yeah, for sure.
I think it's always worth doing a play like that.
Also important to keep, nice hook from Niles. Important to keep track of the, nice W from Tomo as well. It's important to keep track of the jungler as well. It allows Rich to play more aggressive in his lane, get a plate here as you saw on Impact. So it's small advantages.
Another dredge line, bottom lane. Isles and Tomo continuing to play this one aggressively. Yon and CoreJJ still doing a fine job farming up. Yon now 27 stacks in 5.5 minutes, so very much on time for getting that extra stacking going. But it is XU with control over the Drake pit as Isles and Tomo keep the pressure on. CoreJJ down to barely 100 HP now. As Team Liquid's bottom lane is going to be forced back. Dove also making a rotation down. The Weaver's wall is ready to cast. If they can find Core and Yon still hanging around,
Yon is dead.
This should be a big play coming out from Dignitas. Seismic shove finds him. Yon is low, but he ain't dead yet. The crash down controlling XU. Dignitas gets first blood over on their jungler, and they ain't done yet. Core tried to flash in, but not quite there. CoreJJ tried to be the hero, but he dies all the same.
It wasn't clean, but he got the job done. Nice early game from Dignitas here. Really, really nice, honestly. From bottom lane, Dignitas setting up the double kill here for XU.
That was really well done. I mean, definitely a bit of a messy dive, but at the end of the day, the fact, the result is very, very good for Dignitas. Yon did this well, flying early into the wall to try to make it so basically Nautilus can't hook, so he's got to wait till after. Misplaces the hook a little bit. Dove kind of saves it by hitting the seismic shove, but Dove wasn't the one that wanted to hold aggro, so that's where I think things went a little bit awkward. Isles should have just ignited first and then thrown out the hook.
Absolutely.
Because if he had aggro, then Dove can stay in, you get those kills earlier, and I think the dive is way more clean.
I think you definitely start with a CC spell in this dive. You don't start with auto attacks, and then he flies into the wall and you can't hit him for 2 seconds almost. So I think you start with a null auto attack and then the hook. It's just too easy, right? Just seismic shove into the hook all the way around. But nonetheless, nice Dignitas. And Tomo has bloods here. So he is going for the Manamium. He is going for the AP build, which is pretty weak at this point of the game, but it's very, very strong on 2 or 3 items. So it might be able to match the late game scaling off the Smolder.
Well, Dignitas with a 1,500 gold lead. The first Drake already under their belts pretty early in the game. This is what we wanted to see from them if they need to be the ones putting the pressure on Team Liquid. And that pressure continues here in the top lane. Every time the camera has panned up here, it's just been Rich shoving in impact, putting some more pressure onto the turret, doing some damage to the plates. He's up about 10 farm right now.
I mean, it's hard to imagine the early game going much better. You invaded, you stole the red, you got a dragon basically on spawn. They took the first dragon at 5:30, I want to say, which is crazy. Then you did a dive. You had already taken a plate top. You had already taken a plate bot. You had push in mid. Like, they've done everything. So this is going incredibly well for Dig.
Best part is Teal didn't even get anything anywhere else.
Nothing.
They didn't
No
get
trade.
top. They didn't get the grubs or anything. Didn't get any camps anywhere. He just didn't get anything.
Yeah, and XU now got both of those kills. This was kind of a trend yesterday where it felt like the junglers were always picking up the kills. Not going to spot that pink ward, unfortunately, as he doesn't walk past it.
The coach right
That's
now.
That's a demerit point for him.
That's the coach right now behind the scene, slamming his table.
He's going to be doing the bottom. He's going to be pointing at the bush.
He's got to zoom in on the pink ward. This pink was walked over 10 times this game. I've been there.
All right, Isles hitting level 6 now. That's what they were waiting on. Riptide to slow him down initially. Dragon Snot stops Tomo from being able to go any further forward. Dignitas doesn't want to overcommit to this. Look, if the devs can give all of his abilities those goofy names, I can call it Dragon Snot. I feel like that's a fair trade.
Yeah, I mean, it's at you, and there's a ball rolling out after he does it, so.
I'm just putting 2 and 2 together, man.
Exactly.
I'm just putting 2 and 2 together.
That's lore accurate. Well, you're getting gooped up. That's why you're getting slowed down. You're like, what the heck is on me? You got gooped.
Hey, Lee Sin's taking the grubs. Look at that. Down there in the bottom left, Lee Sin's got grub control. So not only did Team Liquid not manage to secure those as a trade earlier, but they haven't managed to secure them at all. Dignitas continuing to run things in the early game here. The only thing that they aren't really stopping much of so far is the stacking over in mid. APA, because of the fact that Talia roamed, did have an opportunity to just free farm a little bit more. This is one of those win cons for Team Liquid, so we will need to see continued aggro from Dig. It's less than 90 seconds till the second Drake spawns, and I feel like they're going to want to be controlling that as well.
But even as far as Yon stacking, it's not going that fast, right?
Yeah,
He's only at 56 here at 9:30. I think Isles has done a good job of not giving him any free stacks. He's only walking up when he has an angle for a hook. He's not just kind of like meandering around for Targon stacks and giving over freebies. So, you know, Yon definitely not going at the fastest pace. APA, obviously, in the early game, it is going to be slower stacking there as well. But he's going to be doing Leandry's Rush, which I think is kind of that new age build for Asol. I've seen some people do like tier into Leandry's and whatnot, but Leandry's as a first item is just so strong. There's so many easy ways to kind of AoE apply this.
It looks like it's going to be another free Dignitas Dragon here in about 40 seconds as well. They are looking for the top dive, though.
Yeah, Dignitas deciding to potentially make a play up here. If your opponents think you're going to be prepping for Drake, maybe you prep for top instead. Rich is the focus. Umpty and Impact can't burst him down in time, and now Isles and XU have arrived. Umpty is not long for this world, and Dove's the one to send him to the next. Nicely played by Dig.
I feel like Dignitas smelled TL giving the Dragon meant they were going to go top side, so they tried to defend Rich instead of making a play on bot side, which I actually really like here. Defending the Jays, allowing to free farm and keep pushing lanes. So I think Dignitas is just playing way better in early game than TL.
2 steps ahead.
Yeah, they're looking very, very good. I mean, Dignitas saw Umpty. Did Umpty not realize that they were up there as well? Because like he kind of just went for that play aggressive. I thought that they had both seen each other, but I didn't actually see for certain on the vision. I mean,
saw them
Dignitas
earlier
is well aware of it.
on the ramp area near the chickens, so he should have known they were in the area at least.
But they fully committed to that instantly. I mean, Dove also TP'd. APA had already spent his TP back to lane. Yep. That's another advantage that you get for Dove having that pushing mid.
Exactly.
So it is looking really good. Now they're moving down towards the bot side. They spotted out Core JJ, who was hanging out in that brush, got tagged by the Kaisa W. And Dig is looking like they're at least considering trying to fight for this.
Team Liquid picking up the crab here first. Not trying to hard force anything here just yet, but Core JJ makes the engage. Magnet Storm and immediate follow-up from APA and Yon. The burst hits true. XU and Dove both drop. That's exactly what Team Liquid needed.
The downside of making top plays is that you lose vision on the bot side, and Coach J took full advantage of it. A nice engage from the Fog of War here. Super nice combo with AP as well. You know, the Rail ulti into the Obelisk Soul stun and the E as well, keeping them in there.
Yeah, I mean, that was perfectly timed. It felt like there was basically no window for them to do anything out of it. Falling Star hits right as that CC is ending from the Rel. The ult from Yon came over the top all at the same time. Like, everything connected instantly. You got a shutdown and 2 kills on APA.
The best person to receive that gold.
Plus,
I think the biggest mistake from Dignitas is that they should have gone to ball lane, had Dove, you know, connect with the ultimate instead of trying to fight mid 2v2. Just play around the Kaisa. Dove can always come there as fast as the Obelisk Soul, thanks to his wall. They even knew he was there. Yeah, they saw him to hit the crab just now.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to bait him to jump on them.
Yeah, I guess maybe they didn't realize where Asol was, or they didn't think that they were going to... maybe Exy was thinking I can step forward and then I'm just gonna be able to safeguard back and disengage it, but
gotta bait out the rail, perhaps.
He's popping off. Where's the chat? Hold on. All right, nope. He's still
Vow of
staying true.
silence has been maintained.
He's still staying true to his vow. Monk mental in the mid lane as Umpty will not find when becomes lightning on Tomo. There, just walks away. All right.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice little injection of stacks too. Every time you hit people with the ult for ASOL, you do get 5 stacks per person you hit. So he's up to 103 now, stacking up the Stardust here. And Yon does have the Essence Reaver, so he's going to be really kind of accelerating at this point. You get Shojin, you get CDR boots, you're moving in mid as well. This is kind of generally when people do it on one item. Shove him mid, start farming up Wolves, start farming up the Raptors as well, and really just try to accelerate the stacks.
With Essence Reaver, removing the mana cost of the Q, you're just constantly vomiting this spell every single time it's on cooldown. Let's see if Impact ends up suffering anything here. Probably not. Isles is going to be found here in the brush by Umpty. Has to dredge line back to safety. XU working on that second round of grubs. He already claimed the first one. If Umpty can come up and just smite one of them away, they can stop Dignitas from hitting that 6 grub power point. XU...
He's saving this
Still just working on the second one, exactly. They want to make sure that they can get it up. He's going to get locked down here by the dredge line. The burst ain't enough to kill him just yet. He's trying to stay alive with the crescent guard, but Mom comes in, and Team Liquid's ready to fight back. Core JJ with the Magnet Storm looking for the lockdown on Isles. APA gets him with a shockwave. Dignitas is still winning the fight, though. 2 for 1 so far. Yon and APA coming in as Dub tries to kite back. Tomo and Rich still looking for their shots. APA and Core. Maybe there's an angle here, maybe not. Team Liquid, they at least stop the 6 grubs because the clock moved forward enough to force despawn them. Dignitas only get to claim 5.
But still, really good for Dig. They get 2 of the grubs, they win out on the fight, they slink away with low health bars. They're feeling good. And we can watch this one more time. So, you know, XU was saving a smite for that 6th one. Umpty's coming down, Renekton's coming up. They have that TP early coming in here from Talia, so they just look for the engage onto Umpty. You can see Tomo, Killer Instinct into the Crescent Guard, gets inside that ultimate to help him burst down. Then Core, pretty nice turn here, and with the Renekton arriving, things do get a little bit dicey. The empowered ASOL ult tags a lot of people for that splash. XU's forced out, and this is where it's like, even though Dig was winning, quote-unquote, Yon's full health and APA is still pretty healthy, so it's hard to actually continue.
Yeah, winning a fight against ASOL with his empowered ultimate is really huge, because he won't have enough for the next fight on the Dragon or the Herald, whatever Dignitas chooses. So that's really huge for Dignitas. Good engage by Isles, while waiting for his Jace to be closer than Renekton, right? To get the engagement since out there. Really good job by him.
All right, so let's check in on state of the game here, since this is such a scaling war type of game one. It's 1 Drake each side. We're 15 minutes in now, so plates are done. Laning phase has essentially ended. It's Dignitas with a 2,000 gold lead. Is that enough? Hold on, we might not even have time to wonder. Core JJ might be the target here at the start, as the Sonic Wave won't find a target. Weaver's Wall is not doing a whole lot there, to be quite honest, but Dignitas just going to walk it off. Is 2,000 gold enough?
I don't even think they necessarily get outscaled, because they are playing a scaling Kaisa build that's long range, and it's like Smolder and ASOL have crazy scaling if they can hit you, but if you're just getting chain shock blasted and Kaisa W from 2 screens away, sometimes you get poked out before you can even take the fight.
Yeah, now Tomo has Lost Chapter, which gives mana for the mana immune to give more AD, so now he actually has the upgrade.
He's got 2 items now. His Ludens is done.
Yeah, once he gets an Amp Tome, he'll have both the Q upgrade and the W upgrade. He only has the Q right now, I believe.
Yep,
should have it.
5 more AP.
Yeah, so one Amp Tome, he'll have it. Start getting...
Ooh, Impact in a little bit of trouble here as XU shows up to help Rich to the skies, and Impact dies. Rich picks up the money, and Dignitas finds their 6th kill of the game.
Rich is actually kind of rich this game. I didn't have a better word for it. I didn't mean to say Rich is rich.
He's very wealthy.
Yeah, exactly. He just has a lot of gold. He got 4 plates, I think, this game into the top lane as well. Now 2 kills, 15 CS advantage. He's doing really well.
But I mean, that's kind of one of the nice side effects of all the attention that was being paid down around the bottom lane, right? With the invades, with a bit of PvP. You draft Jace for the top lane and then leave him on an island. He's going to smack most people around.
The top lane dream, playing 1v1 only. No one else interferes with his laning phase. The Jace dream.
Yeah, not the dream for the person playing the melee champion.
No. Renekton nightmare.
It's also, you know, Rich to conquer, right? So he's there to brawl in that 1v1. It's not like he took phase rush to escape from ganks, so maybe a little bit frustrating for Impact to not have people come up there and try to interact, because that's where Renekton can really succeed. If he doesn't have phase rush, if he's playing conquer, you get flash stunned and your jungler's there, he's probably just dead. But instead, it's just kind of this fist fight. There's 3 tiers that are stacking up as well for Dig. We have, you know, Muramana going to be coming in for 2 players. We have the Archangels almost done for Dove. They have some pretty damn good scaling items.
Dignitas has no vision of his play. Core J is going to have a really good angle here, wherever he chooses to flank from. I think Dignitas might just have to give this.
Yeah, I think Dignitas learned their lesson last time. They don't want to walk up to a blind brush and let CoreJJ engage on multiple targets. Instead, they're going to try to trade it back in mid. Falling Star comes down, but it doesn't get a whole lot just yet. XU still barely staying alive, tries to get away, and he will. Dignitas still lots of HP on the 4 remaining players. Downtown Dredge line hits Umpty, but the follow-up isn't there. Nobody dies on either side. Team Liquid takes their second Drake of the game and barely holds onto their tier 1 turret, so Dignitas don't get anything in exchange.
I really think Dignitas could have just gone for top tower or for the Herald instead of trying to like semi-contest the dragon. You know, just give it. It's point. It's you know, both teams have one dragon each at that point. Just give it. You know, it doesn't matter at this point. Just go for the Herald, the top tower, get you know Rich even more going than what it has.
Yeah, top lane tier 1 would have been guaranteed for Jace. You could have taken Herald as well, and then that guarantees the mid tier 1.
Exactly.
And then you're basically doing essentially a 2 tower for dragon trade.
Yeah, for 1 mountain dragon.
Yep.
It doesn't matter at this point in dragon. You're not going to get sold this game realistically, right?
And I do think that's one of the things, though, that sometimes where teams get baited in. Especially I find this more common if they got an early dragon. They're like, well, we got this early dragon, so now we have to get the rest of the dragons. We got a dragon at 530. We got to play for soul.
Yeah, but the goal is like way more valuable until the moment you have soul.
Yep.
The dragons themselves aren't worth that much stats anymore.
The early dragons are a down payment. Yes, you can try to spend it working towards soul, but you can also invest it into Herald or turret or another turret.
Look at this Jace right now. He's got 1 full item more than Impact.
Yeah.
That's such a nightmare for Renekton, dude. It's fully evolved Mana Moon and Eclipse with the Ionian boots. This guy is just such a problem. Tomo might be in a little bit of trouble here. It's CoreJJ and Yon need a little more damage to finish him off, but they ain't going to find it. Umpty comes in over the wall, and the shutdown goes over to Smolder. Yon and Team Liquid find their punish on the Dignitas AD carry.
I mean, they just forced that way too hard. They don't need to be walking into the Smolder, letting him hit you to try to kill the tower in his face. You could just wait and slowly chip it down. The gold is there for the taking. Instead, really overforced there. They end up getting a shutdown. Yeah, they get out of TP and some stuff, but like there was just no reason to die for that, I think.
Yeah, Smolder, the biggest shutdown merchant in the game for sure. Now, almost 200 stacks almost at 20 minutes. We're getting there.
He's on track to have it at 22, 23 minutes-ish, and then it's just going to be a problem.
You gotta wonder if Dignitas thinks they're getting outscaled with how they're playing. You know, they're forcing objectives they can't win. They're fighting mid tower like this when they just do the Herald. It was up the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they came into this and their plan was to outscale, we will get soul. You know, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, you have to wonder if it's like,
wait, hold on, Rich! Flashing away here with the falling star. He gets the outplay. He's a dragon slayer, man.
Nicely done. I mean, it sounds funny, but like kind of unironically, right? It's like, oh, we have pushing lanes. We'll stack towards soul. That's how we're going to be able to match their scaling is we'll get soul while they do nothing in AFK. So then maybe they're feeling the pressure to actually get to the dragons and kind of force a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for the Dignitas. Rich wins the 1v1. When the 2 Fed guys meet in side lane like this, the 2 guys shut down, you just hope your guy wins, and he did win this time.
I mean, that's huge for Dig. Rich has been pretty quiet for them this year. Last year for Dignitas, it was all about, oh, Rich is going to carry. It's got to be Rich. It's got to be Rich with the crazy counter pick. It's going to be his Quinn. It's going to be his Lau. It's going to be something. This year hasn't been about him at all. So if he could step up and have a big series in playoffs, that he could be the X factor.
Especially with what you mentioned back in draft, it's his first Jace. It's not like this guy is playing Jace in the LCS all the time beforehand.
This split,
yeah. But I love the fact that, like you mentioned, this is a way to throw a wrench into that prep that Team Liquid might have done. If you're not a team that's known for playing Jace and Kai'Sa, if you're a team that's known for just like, hey guys, we're going to pick Smolder and then Deathball around it for 30 minutes, and now you're playing this poke comp that's just constantly bringing in the artillery, Team Liquid might be caught unawares.
And with how much gold the Kai'Sa and the Jace have, I really don't think it's just like a cut and dry, you just lose when Smolder hits 225, because range is the most powerful scaling ability in the game. Like, range is the most powerful scaling stat. If I cannot interact with you, it does not matter if I can one-shot you when you're 2 screens away, just pelting me.
And CoreJJ is a good rail player, but even he can't engage on someone who's that far away.
21 minutes and 40 seconds. Smolder crosses the finish line.
Sure.
That is a very fast stack compared to most of the times we see in LCS.
Yeah, because yesterday FBI got it at about 22, and I think that was the current LCS record. So this was even faster than that. I think that's really impressive from Yon, especially because he didn't have one of those freebie lanes to scale off of. Yesterday was against, it was a Senna Nautilus lane, Senna Ornn lane.
Yeah. The worst one, the
Ornn.
Yeah, exactly. So it was one of the kind of freebies. We can see APA does have the empowered ult, which does get scary because you maybe didn't care about the first dragon, maybe didn't care about second, but giving them the third does get kind of dicey, and fighting it when Asol has empowered ulti is really tough because he's on 2 items. He's got the Rylai's and the Leandries, and that ulti, it's the whole screen. It's just massive.
It's the answer to the poke.
Yep.
If normally you can't interact with somebody, simply cast your spell on the entire map.
If you dodge one Kaiser W, the cooldown is, more than double. So it is really huge. If you can dodge just one of them, then it won't be oncoming for a couple seconds. But doing a really good job with the Jace EQ and the W from Kaiser.
Dredge line on Umpty. Another Void Seeker finds Impact. Team Liquid just getting bombarded by these damn things. With Impact and APA both at half HP, Team Liquid has to surrender the objective. I think this is the textbook example of exactly what you gentlemen were talking about.
That's what I'm talking about, man. It's one thing if you can actually get up on them and utilize that damage, but if you can't get there, you can't get there. Umpty even had to use his ulti just to walk out of the fight, so they're going to be able to take the dragon. So I think if Dignitas were feeling pressure before that fight, after that fight, they should not be feeling pressure. They should realize as long as we play the fights properly, as long as we don't give them the hard engage, there's going to be no real way for them to get anything from this scaling. So we just need to continue playing slow, continue playing measured. If they are over-forcing and everyone's flashing forward just to try to get in range, well, they're going to get mauled by Taliyah anyway. So I think Dignitas are in a good spot. They just need to keep playing it cool, calm, collected.
Most important thing was how well they retook the vision there on Dragon. They didn't, rush it too... Hang on.
Now hold on, Dignitas thought they might have had an angle here, but it could be a counterpunch coming in from Team Liquid. Yawn picks up the kill on Isles. XU stuck in the back of the Baron pit, just getting smacked around a little bit. He'll lose about 40% HP. Nicely done there from TL. The side steps away from the Dredge line and the Sonic Wave prevented the initial move from Dig. But now, it's the Baron.
Though. Against Kai'Sa Jace, you're going to get poked in there, but Impact is behind him.
They're coming in. Impact wants his entry, and they found the lockdown on Rich. The Jace is shut down. Umpty, APA, and Yawn all injured, but Team Liquid has a 5v4 man advantage, and Isles isn't even in the fight yet. It's 5v3 for all intents and purposes. In comes XU. He wants to make the steal, but he ain't going to find it. Team Liquid get a Baron and a kill on top. Dub gets hit by the breath from Mom, and Dignitas has to walk away. Their entire lead just evaporated.
Man, that is tough. They just kind of overforced there. They lost track of where Impact was. They went way too early.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at how healthy it is. It's still over 8,000 health. You don't need to be walking in there as Jace. You can just be poking them over the wall and playing it more slowly. You could even combine for the steal. I even think if XU is here and you Shock Blast and Void Seeker and everything all at once, you could just steal the Baron.
Yeah, he even saw the HP with his Q.
Yeah.
And then kicks Umpty into the wall and...
I mean, maybe he thought he could get him over the wall, but definitely too early. Rich went down too early as well. Dignitas, it felt like a bit of a panic moment there, as Rich knows it. I mean, he was playing a great game. That's his first death. That's the winning coach, by the way. He's like, wait, we got that?
How did this happen?
When both are confused. LCS, baby.
Yeehaw.
But now, Teal has made it to the point where they are really happy. Smolder has 3 items, same as the Kai'Sa, who was behind the entire game, and now he's suddenly ahead.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he got a number of kills there. Now they're getting towers. Now they got the Baron gold. So that's a huge injection, and he has that rapid fire done. Yeah. So he's going to be feeling a lot better.
It really bridges the gap between the range. When they have the Baron, they can't really wave clear.
Yeah.
Dig has poke, but not wave clear.
Well, and especially Taliyah's not there, so that's all their wave clear practically. Yeah. Taliyah's actually splitting in the side lane. I'm not really sure why they just have Rich.
Oh, using his flash for no reason.
Well, they're going to keep going. Taliyah's not coming back. Taliyah's actually going for this tier 3, so he's going to look to try to force someone to base. Asol looks like he's going back now. And Dignitas will lose a couple towers. They're definitely not out of this game just yet. This is obviously a pretty big swing, but I do still think withstand the storm, set up around the next dragon, play it like you did the previous one. Okay. And yeah, TL has more gold. It is going to be a harder game, but if you don't give them an opportunity to interact with you before you poke them down, it's going to be your dragon still.
And TL will have that Baron buff for another minute or so, but it's still about 1:45 until the dragon spawns. So you'll have 45 seconds of that fair, contested, neutral territory to play around with. Reminder, you can see it at the bottom of your screen right now. Next week we will be on Friday and Saturday, different from the usual Saturday and Sunday. So don't miss it. We only got to have 2 more weeks of playoffs after this one, and then Spring Split is all wrapped up. For one of these teams, it's going to end here today, and neither one of these guys wants to be the ones watching the rest of it from the couch. Void Seeker, ooh, nicely done from Umpty. Not walking into that.
Yeah, Dina's got to really be hating how they play this game. You know, they were so far ahead. They played like a little panicky almost. They were feeling rushed, I think, to get ahead when they were already winning the passive slow game. And then now they're here thinking, wow, we could have won this game so easily by not doing anything.
There's one thing I will say that speaks a lot to experience and how much have you played in playoffs. A lot of these Dignitas guys have not had a lot of playoff experience whatsoever. Then you're looking over at the other side at guys like CoreJJ and Impact.
Yeah, it's
like one of those players probably has more playoff experience than the entire Dignitas roster.
Yeah, I think Impact does have more than the entire team combined. I think
I would think so.
Yeah, for sure. I think.
Both of these guys just they've been in those high pressure situations before,
World
and
Finals.
Yeah. You know, just two world champions. They've probably been through a couple of best of 5 series in their time.
Nothing compared to the LCS.
and Tomo getting dove. The burst comes in. He barely survives. He's getting away for now. Mom. Oh, Tomo just barely gets out of the way there with the flash. Team Liquid, though, they time that beautifully. It's 5 seconds until the Drake spawns, and they forced the enemy carry back and got rid of both his summoner spells.
That's a gunner.
Look at the vision. There's absolutely nothing on that side of the map. They can't see anything. So when you're showing up to a dragon this late with no vision, you just can't walk in. It's just a death sentence. If you walk in and they're waiting in a brush, your game is over. So they're going to have to give this one up for sure. Honestly, even if Tomo didn't get pushed out there, I felt like they were a little bit too late to actually get there and set up vision. So I feel like they would have had to give it up regardless. They're now going to be facing a potential soul here for TL, which does make things more difficult.
Yeah, now you start splitting.
Yeah.
Because now the dragons actually matter. Looking at his smolder, 300 stacks, 3.5 items, Sonya's.
Oh boy, this is
Dove
not where Dove wants to be.
Space.
And becomes lightning. Well, yeah, there's just no way.
Dove becomes gray screen.
Yeah, Dove becomes dragon snot victim. Jan can just pick that one up, no
way
problem. The worst part about Smolder too, this guy is guaranteed so much money after he hits 225 stacks, since he's just an inbuilt KS machine.
Yeah, you have the
There's no way anybody else gets the credit. Yeah, it's not right. The AD carry perspective versus the everybody else perspective.
I deserve it.
All me, bro.
I killed him once, I deserve it.
Yeah.
I hit a minion with my Q and I hit someone else in the background, I deserve the skill. The best when you Q someone and there's a dash into their own team. That feels great.
Yeah.
The one yesterday with the Kasante ult, like 3 miles away into Zimbabwe, but then the Smolder Q still hit him and got the kill. It's like, come on.
I think the worst part of dying in Smolder is the sound it makes when you die.
Oh, like the Elder execute
noise? The screeching, the Elder. Is it his mom screeching? Or...
I thought it was just like supposed to be similar to the Elder noise, because when Smolder grows up, isn't he supposed to be like an Elder dragon?
Well,
I don't know, bro.
I always kind of thought it was the mom zapping him too.
Yeah, right?
Oh.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was Smolder getting like Elder dragon.
He's not getting bigger. He's still a little baby.
Man, maybe I should actually read the lore for things that aren't Skarner.
It's more funny if we just kind of make it up on the spot.
I look at the thumbnails for the videos and then just let my imagination run wild on what the character actually is. So.
The lore is whatever you choose to believe it is.
Yeah, the real lore was the friends we made along the way. Well, Baron's coming back. Let's see who's going to be friends with him this time. Last time around, it was Dignitas' destruction at the Baron pit. An age-old tale. But now, you're in the mid lane. CoreJJ, what are you doing? Core's in a bit of a strange spot. He's still going to be kept alive. The skies descend, and Dig will end. It's Yon grabbing 1. Yon gets 2. There's another one coming in. They're about to burn away. A triple quadra. It's Smolder, baby. The Lee Sin barely gets away, but that should end the game right there. Team Liquid, CoreJJ with the ultimate bamboozle, baits Dignitas into their own destruction. Lee Sin against 5? I don't think so. Dignitas may have controlled the game for the first 20 minutes, but the experience of Team Liquid shows up. They're going to force Lee right back into the Fountain X. You can't do anything about this. Turret even gets the execution, and it's TL taking game 1.
And we just talked about it, how Smolder sometimes Q someone, they dash into their own teammates and kill him. Rich dies his own teammates, bringing him down with the Smolder Q.
We got some all chat at the end. Goes, Penta for my baby, please?
To which XU responds, your baby, give me Penta.
That's funny, man.
Oh, man. A little bit of banter there at the end. Honestly, The game from Dignitas for the first 20 minutes was really solid. You guys were talking about how they were playing around the poke comp, how they were making it work, but unfortunately, 20 minutes of solid play gets undone by 60 seconds of that panicky style around the Baron pit. The Dignitas Baron, unfortunately, that specter ever hanging over their heads as Team Liquid found the comeback angle. And after that play, Dignitas never really regained their footing.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, really tough for Dig. You know, they had such a good early game, but all mistakes are not made equal in League of Legends. You make a mistake by the Baron post 20 minutes, it is going to kill you.
All right, with game number 1 wrapped up, a reminder to all y'all, Fantasy LCS is happening over on Sleeper. Make sure to lock in your picks and bans for next week's games if you want to top your league. And now, we're going to head on...
Wait, Flowers. Before we get to game 2, I wanted to remind the audience of something that my good buddy Flowers here was really excited about a couple of years ago.
Huh? So, it's Ornn, but he wears a trucker hat. His Q, it has a 50-50 chance. It's a legendary skin. We go all out for this. It summons either a traffic cone or a stop sign. When he charges at it with his E, it makes slamming on the brakes tire noises. His W is a burp, and when he summons it all, it goes honk, honk, and it's a big semi that just like runs over everybody and smacks them. And then when he does his little like bonkety, I'm building an item thing, he gets on the CB radio and he's like, 10-4, good buddy, I need some Hell yeah. Yeah.
Well, Flowers, I got some good news for you, buddy. Your dream pretty much came true.
No
Here is
shot.
the world premiere of the new Train Conductor
He's
Ornn
got a
skin.
train!
Take a look. Give us your immediate reaction.
All right, let's... Yes! Yes! Bonk it! Good job. All right. Bird. Oh, it's like a choo-choo. Chugga, 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 chugga. All right. Yes, giant train. Oh, I love it. Good job, Ornn. Hit him with the train. Okay, all right, that's cool. That's cool. I don't know what the portal is, but he's got a little train that he rides.
That was amazing. Okay.
2 thumbs up. Good job, Riot.
That's like your world skin.
Yes!
It's like you won Worlds.
I never even made it out of Diamond. I never even made it to Masters, and I got a world skin, baby. Let's go.
There you go. This skin and other April Fool's skins are coming out on 14.7, so you can get this in April.
Hell yeah!
We're headed to a break. Game 2 is on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah! Don't go anywhere.
One more thing. You need to go down.
Looks not bad. I'm fine.
Close. Okay.
We can go forward. Dead. Can we go forward? Yeah, we can. I can still go forward. Yeah, go forward. I can still go forward.
Go for it.
No, slow.
End the game.
Red Bull gives you wings.
There he is. It's right there.
Cover more ground in the Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid. Kia, movement that inspires.
Look what I've just made. The perfect pearl.
Not too bad, but check this out.
Whoa, a true Venus clam.
Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Sea Blue Edition with the taste of Juneberry. Wings for every taste.